a terrarium made out of aquarium hobby materials, and I think it's quite cool for a first attempt. I did make some mistakes. The drainage layer is way too deep. I could have replaced that with substrate or lowered the whole thing down a little bit, which would have been better, but learned my lesson. I overwatered it as well, so it does get condensation on the glass quite a lot. It's only meant to really have condensation on the glass in the morning, so I'm having to leave the lid off for a couple of hours each day till it balances out. And when I added the springtails, I actually tossed a lot of the substrate that they're in into the terrarium, covering the plants. I had to clean that up, but otherwise I think it's been quite successful. So if you'd like to go through the steps with me how I built it, you can watch the rest of the video, and if you don't, later. The first step was to gather the resources, aquarium hobby resources. So keeping with the aquarium theme, you can use, of course, Java moss, Christmas moss, anything like that, aquarium mosses. Oh, hold on, let me just show you this while I'm here. Check that out. Know what that is? That is where the deer come out of in the morning and come visit me in the garden. Oh, there's a car coming. I've seen some moss in here. Oh, it's kind of overgrown since the last time I was in, but I've seen moss in here that I'd really like to use. It looks really pretty. Here we go, look at this. Look at this. I think that's nice, that. So I'm going to gather up a load of this. Looks pretty cool, doesn't it? So I've assembled as many bits I could find lying about to make a scape out of. I've only got one of these, that's going to be no good. The rest of it's in a tank. I really like this piece here, that's really cool, but I don't have anything that matches. I don't know why I've got so many mismatched pieces of rock. That one's cool as well. That's really nice, but I don't think I've got anything that matches that. And then of course we've got some wood for some detail pieces. That's obviously been well used in a tank. So let's see what we can come up with. Right, I think I'm going to go with these two pieces. However, this one is a bit too big just now, so let's see if we can make it smaller. Yes! So I've got this cookie jar, right, which has never actually been a cookie jar. It's what I used when we went dipping in the stream to observe the creatures that we caught. It's been an insect habitat for some of the human fry. Never a cookie jar. And also impossible to open with one hand, it seems, so I'm not bother. But my idea then is to, let's maybe just go out of the way. I have my terrarium there, look. It's meant to be in indirect sunlight, and that kind of, well, for the sun that we get here, it looks like it might do the job. That is the current plan. Step 2, give it a wash. I think at this stage I'm going to start making my substrate, so I'm going to start with this cocoa fibre, sorry, which comes in a block, and you've got to kind of, oh, hold on a minute, let's move the chopping boards because I quite like breathing. Oh, I've just realised I'm doing this wrong. That's why it's so hard to break up. You're meant to rehydrate it first. Right, let's give it some spray then. Let's see, can we hydrate it that way? I think what you're meant to do is sit the block in an amount of water and let it soak in. There we go, looking good. I don't know if I've made another mistake here. I was supposed to get sphagnum moss. What I actually ordered was premium dried forest moss, but it does say for terrariums there, look, so. Right, it is supposed to be 1 part cocoa fibre to 2 parts of the moss. So I might be cutting here for a little while, maybe. I mean, that's quite a good amount of moss, isn't it? And I'm going to spray that down as well, because I'm pretty sure it's meant to be moist at least. Right, we'll give that a bit of a mix together. Like that. And then we're going to add some worm castings. Give that a bit of a mix in. Oh no, I forgot to get charcoal, didn't I? I wonder if carbon will work. This is the stuff you use in filters, etc. obviously. So, aquarium related. Let's chuck it in and see what happens. Not much left anyway, so pop it in. Oh, a bit dusty. Looking pretty good, isn't it? Quite happy with that. Right then, let's start working on our jar then. Right, first things first. If you look at your jar, there is a seam. You see that? So we want to put the seam. There's 2 seams, so we want the seams at the sides then, so we're not staring at them. And then we need to create a drainage layer. So I have still got loads of these granite chips left over from when I escaped the Gil Rio. Would have preferred something larger, if I'm honest, but let's work with what we got, and also I can still claim this is aquarium related, can't I? So the idea of the drainage layer is just to put a few centimetres at the bottom for any excess water to go into, so that it doesn't soak into the substrate, but we're going to need a barrier between the 2. Window screen mesh is meant to be the best, but I don't have any. What I do have is this stainless steel mesh and plastic canvas that you use for hobby crafting, both of which I have used in aquarium projects. I'm not too sure which one to go with though. What do you think, folks? In fact, yes I do. Yes I do. I'm going with the plastic mesh purely because it's going to be easier to cut, isn't it? You helping? You don't normally help. Hi. Hey, Blink. I reckon that's too much there, but I've done it now, so there's our barrier. And now we can start adding our substrate. I feel like I should pat it down as I go. And here we are, maybe build it up at the back. That's what we normally do with substrate in an aquarium, isn't it? Right, it's taking shape, isn't it? So now it's a case of just kind of figuring it out how it is going to look best. And right away, I'm quite liking that. Sure, first. Oh, hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. That's pretty awesome. I wasn't expecting to get it first time, but I think that's ace. There's a lot of reflections in here, isn't there? If I put a light over the top of it though, you can see that is really coming together actually. I think I'm going with that. Gonna bury it down into the substrate a wee bit, try and keep it in place if I can. Beginner's luck, eh? Thinking about it though, I think I would like that one to be a bit higher, so I'm going to put a bit more substrate underneath there. to raise that one up. Yeah, that's better. This is going to be the hard bit. I think I want some accent pieces off of this, which means snapping them off. But that is such a great piece. Ah, well, in for a penny. Saying that, and call it beginner's luck again if you want. That looks kind of cool, doesn't it? Pretty happy with that. Need to start getting some plants in then, won't we? So we've got this moss that we pinched from the forest earlier. Aquarium tools, by the way, keeping with the theme. And what I'm going to do is break off small amounts and kind of place it where I think it ought to go. And bit by bit build it up along that bottom section. Like so. I should really have glued the twigs in place, but because I'm not totally certain, this is a first attempt, remember, because I'm not totally certain that I'm going to keep it like this, I'm going to hold off on that for now until I'm totally happy with it. But so far I'm pretty pleased. I think it's going well. Right, then we've got some of this Monte Carlo, which is an aquarium plant, of course, and the idea is to make this whole trail up here Monte Carlo. I have never used this stuff, well, never tried to plant it in soil before. Guess it's the same kind of idea. Break it up and stick it in where it's going to go. So that's what we're going to go with and see what happens. There we go. Might be planting it in a bit thick. If it all rots on me, well, do you know what? We've learned something then, haven't we? For now, this is what we're going with. Now we also have some hydrocotyle. So what I'm going to do with that is put it in the two edges there. And I'm kind of hoping it's going to trail down over the edges of the rocks. Kind of like vines coming down. Not totally sure, but this is how we learn, giving it a go, isn't it? Another wee bit at the top there, I think. And then I kind of feel like we're good plant-wise. Right, we'll give it one last spray down then. One last mist. The last thing then is to add in some of our springtails, nature's little cleaners. They should eat up any decaying matter and mould that might occur. Kind of essential. Yeah, that was an accident. I meant to tip a few out and actually ended up knocking half of the stuff they're in out into the jar. A huge mistake, lesson learned. But we do know we've got some springtails in there, which was the main thing. Oh, I wish I didn't do that. Definitely got some springtails in there anyway, that's what we were aiming for. So these wee guys can self-regulate the population based on the amount of food available. Remarkable little creatures, really, aren't they? And there we go, folks, that's it. A couple of days in. I think it's doing well, actually. I'm surprised how quickly the Monte Carlo seems to be taking shape. The moss is looking fantastic. The hydrocotyle at the top, maybe not quite as much. Gonna give that a wee while longer though and see what happens, but yeah, I'm quite pleased with it for a first attempt. Like I say, mostly all aquarium hobby materials, everything except the substrate, really. Yeah, chuffed to bits, and do you know what? I had a really nice afternoon building that, so see what happens in the next couple of weeks. Who knows, might build another one at some point. Anyway, I'm out.